Wagwan Mandem. Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? And how are you doing, my friends? Welcome back to the Win with Vince show, episode 5. And I can't believe in 5 episodes we've gathered over 17 million listeners on Spotify. That is insane. I don't think it's ever been done before. And for good reason. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but if you're not watching this with video, you're missing out. Because I'm a handsome bugger, aren't I? Microphone check 1 2. What is this? Microphone. Hello. There we go. Okay. Sorry, my mic went down. I'm a handsome bugger, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm probably not as handsome as me, let's be honest. Today we're talking about something very important. And that is the US colonizing the world? And I mean, the short answer is yes. The long answer, though, we will discuss in this video. Let me just do some espresso ASMR. That's why you tune in, hey. Hell yeah, my friend. All right. How does what is that guy? What's that actor? Damn it! All right. So this is the show. This is how I'm gonna start speaking to you. Just gently whistling my ass. Isn't that weird? People who talk like that. Isn't that weird? People who talk like that. You know, just whistling their ass. Wish I could, though. Fantastic storyteller quality. But I'm here to tell you a different story. Is the US quietly colonizing the world? I mean, we all know they loved exporting freedom. Cue the music. That's right. But now it looks like they're eyeing some real estate too. The US wasn't a traditional colonializer in the sense of like the British Empire was, for example. I mean, the British Empire, obviously the most famous, most notorious, BIG, SOB, the British Empire. They were horrible colonizers. Fun fact though, not as bad as the Portuguese. The Portuguese were some of the worst and most vicious colonizers in the world. I mean, the Portuguese would colonize countries, use the natives as slave labor, and then, when they were done working and they couldn't work anymore, they were just thrown off the cliffs. As in like their hands were raw, down to the bone, or they broke their legs, or, because the treacherous working situations, they were just discarded and thrown off of a cliff into the ocean or whatever. Used as food in some cases for predators, which, I mean, and now we're all just like, hey, Portugal, football. I mean, okay. Okay. Yeah, very big. I mean, it was hundreds of years ago, of course, but, maybe 1,000 years ago even. God, what am I saying? I don't even know. The conquistadores. I don't know. But now we're looking at the United States of Great Britain and North America. Soon it will be the US. It'll be the USA. The USA. Ah, wow. It's like US of A. Now it's USNA, United States of North America. Because Canada, Canada, eh? I mean, let's talk about Canada. What is Donald Trump calls President Trudeau, famously calls him Governor Trudeau. And what do you do? Let's say you're Justin Trudeau. I know he listens to this. So Justin, if you're watching, what do you do? Leave me a comment down below or give me a call on my personal phone. It's always open for you, Jussie. But what do you do in a case like that? That's the biggest disrespect ever. I mean, I personally think old Justin should join the US. How cool would it be? 51 states and Canada's just part of it. That would be a super country. To have Alaska, Canada, and the US would be bigger than Russia. That's for sure. Insane, man. Then no borders. You could just do whatever you want. Man, imagine the exploration possibilities. I mean, Canada goes up far north. And that's why the US, I think partially that's why they want Canada so bad also, is because you have then access to like the the Arctic Circle and stuff like that, which you don't quite have now, if I'm not mistaken, through Alaska. But it's just crazy how big the territory would be then, the US territory. And what is Canada? You've got diamonds, massive oil reserves, massive diamond reserves, Same with Greenland, which is also what Trump wants. It's funny, Greenland is covered in ice and Iceland is covered in green. So, here we go, drinking a sip of water. I'm sorry, please don't click away. This is the most watched show on earth, so for good reason. Stay with us. So, old Donald Trumpled wants to get Canada. I don't know what he said, how he plans on doing it. He's gonna bribe all the Canadians with maple syrup. Like, come on, Canadian, you want some maple syrup? How about that? I just imagine all Canadians, and the Canadians just come running. They're like, maple syrup? Who said that? And then just like all flock towards like a glass of maple syrup like wild animals. I'm sorry, Canadians. I've never been to Canada. I'd love to go to Canada, and one day when you are part of the US, I shall visit. Oh, the great state of Canada. And you'd be the biggest state. Canada, you can't really brag about the anything at the moment. I mean, not that I know of. I don't know many Canadian achievements, because I'm sure there are many. I just haven't looked into it. I know Tim Hortons, that's an achievement you guys have, but, there's not many Tim Hortons outside of Canada, is there? Is there? Or maybe there are. I've just never seen one before. Because I'm not really interested in bad coffee. Sorry. I know I've literally offended the entire nation of Canada right now with the things I'm saying. I also want to say I buy Canadian maple syrup. Okay? Like from Canada. It's really expensive. It's like grade C. It's even graded. You guys have like maple syrup grades. You know what I mean? That's commitment. Right there. And that's why I can't take you very seriously, Canada. Because like Mexico exports tequila. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, let's have a good time, okay? Freaking, who exports what? Okay, that's a bad example. Okay, Mexico exports tequila. Hey, good times. Cuba exports rum. Let's do a little bit of dancing, man, That's my... whatever they dance in Cuba. America exports freedom. And Canada exports maple syrup, eh? You guys have got like this jolly little boy with fat red cheeks there. Like, I don't know if you actually do, but that would be pretty funny. And wood. You guys export wood too. It's a big export of Canada. And diamonds, of course. So Canada's like, you want to come over for some maple syrup and wood and diamonds and chill? I don't know. Anyway, enough of Canada. Canada's a fantastic country, I'm sure. And it's beautiful, it's huge, and I think it would make a great addition to the United States of America. Then you'd truly be a unified Northern America. North America. It would just be one country. You'd be the USNA, United States of North America. That would be so cool. I think you should do it. And I'm not sure if Greenland is also part of New America. New America, there we go, of North America. But if it is, that's probably what Donald is trying to do. North America belongs to the USA. Born in the US. I'm not going to play that music because I don't want to get copyrighted, but I do it better than Bruce anyway. But let's talk about Greenland. Trump literally asked if he could buy Greenland. Now the audacity to do that, man. The cojones. Do you know we're back to Mexico now? They also export. Their biggest exporter is cojones, man. Mexican people have big cojones. They don't give a shit, man. Mexicans are very strong-headed, solid people. I like Mexicans, actually. And Canadians also, obviously, because they're maple syrup. But I like Mexicans a lot. I don't know why I brought Mexico up. I'm talking about Greenland. He asked if he could buy Greenland. It's an NFT. He's like, we, the American people, will mint Greenland. It's new. It's coming up. They've got a great, fantastic roadmap. Fantastic project. We're going to mint Greenland. And Denmark's like, but we have already minted Greenland. It's on the blockchain. It belongs to us. America's like, we own the blockchain. It's ours. It's not decentralized. It's centralized. Okay. I don't know why he does this with his hands all the time. Like when he's explaining, I get when people, they explain, they exaggerate. They like the Italians, they're French as well. The French do this. They talk like this all the time. Huh? I think when you talk to a French person, they use the hand like this. Italians, they're known to like, you know what I mean? And the French are more graceful. The French kind of expand and, like that. You should watch Macron when Macron talks. L'escargot, croissant, pain au chocolat. Hein? Ah, mais naturellement. Français, like that. But Trump, I think he's trying to over-exaggerate what Macron's doing, his boy. I think he's kind of jelly of his wife, People said Macron's wife is a man, by the way. How could you say that? The disrespect you have to have for a guy to call his wife a man. But that's trolling on a different level, man. Jesus. You can call him short and everything. He'll be like, I am not offended by this. And then they're like, okay, well, your wife's a man. He'd be like, you, how dare you? But the funny thing is he's very pro, LGBTQA+. I don't know the full, but the LGBT community. Which is fine, but like then don't get offended that they call your wife a man. Just be like, okay, so what if she is? Maybe I'm into that. You got a problem with that? Huh? Do you? Because everyone to their own, each to their own, right? Wait, let's get back to Greenland. So Trump asked if he could mint Greenland, basically. He wants to buy it like it's an NFT. And Denmark was like, how? Let me just do this ASMR style. How about no? Wait, let me up this a little bit here. There we go. Denmark was like, how about no, you freaky deaky Dutch? If you've ever watched Austin Powers, you would know that. And you freaky deaky Dutch. Yeah. So why? But why? You might ask. Well, Greenland is incredibly rich in resources, and there's not much there for now. You know what I mean? Trump is a developer. Same thing with Gaza. He called it the Riviera of the Middle East. He just wants to be the first guy to build a massive hotel there, which is such an American concept. But back to Greenland before we get to Gaza. We will get to Gaza, but Trump wants to buy Greenland. And he said, the rhetoric was that they don't even have to buy it. Most Greenlanders actually want to join the U.S., and that's actually false. They did a what do you call it? They did a sample of people. They asked people, how many of you? Anyway, long story short, only about 12% of Greenlanders said they'd like to join the U.S., and then the rest said they would be independent. Or not the rest, but a majority of them said then independence, or maybe it was 50-50 between independence and staying with Denmark. I'm not quite sure, but only minority of them said they'd like to join the US. And independence is just as good for the US, because if they're independent, they're more open, and there's new relations that can be established. So the US can grow a massive foothold there, which is very easy for America to gain foothold in any country. Because, what do we do these days? We consume content online on an American platform, YouTube, Spotify, all of that. We watch movies on Netflix, American platform, Hollywood movies, American culture. We're all so Americanized. And if you don't know the song America by Rammstein, then listen to it. Listen to the lyrics. We're all living in America. America is wunderbar, which means is wonderful in German, obviously. Stupid. You didn't even know that, I bet. You're so dumb. I'm not quite sure what's up with my audio, because it goes low and then it stays high. Hey, is this better? Can you guys hear me here? I think this is really good. Hello? Yeah, should be fine. Hey. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just rambling now about my audio. No, so, yeah. It's very easy for America to export their biggest product. Canada, it's maple syrup and trees, and diamonds. America, it's culture. I think that's their biggest export. Everyone consumes American content these days. Everyone knows what fries are. Everybody knows what vacation means. Vacation isn't even an English word. Vacation's an American word. Bet you didn't know that. People say caramel instead of caramel, right? It's caramel. That's the word for it. And it infuriates me that Americans call it caramel. You were just too lazy to pronounce the other A. Honestly. Now, my accent is originally from South Africa. I'm South African. And when I go to the States, I have to adjust how I speak. So, in order to come across correctly. I once went to a drive-in bakery, which exists in the US. For all my non-Americans watching, a drive-in bakery is something that exists in the United States, not so much in Europe, not so much anywhere else really. And I think it's very convenient. But then again, if you like convenience, you're a little bit on the chubby side, isn't it? Ain't ya? Not in it. That's English, sorry. Ain't ya? You fat bastard. So, drive-in bakery, I'm talking about myself and I'm referring to fat bastard and all these slurs, by the way. Not to you guys. I love you guys. And I love myself, though, too. So, self-love is good. I mean, if I didn't, then I wouldn't have 6 million followers. Anyway, so I went to drive-in bakery and I went to the drive-thru. I said I would like a banana muffin. You know what that is, right? A banana muffin. Simple as that. The lady was like, a banana. And then there was like silence for about 3 seconds. And I'm like sitting there like, that meme of the Sid guy from Monsters Inc. where he's like, that was me. And then she came back. She's like, oh, a banana muffin. And like a little chuckle. And I'm like, yeah, a banana muffin. The fuck? Are you that dumb? Sorry. Like, what? You can't differentiate between banana and banana? Why can the rest of the world... This is what I mean. The rest of the world can understand an American accent. Except, of course, the, deep south. No, here. You guys talk like that. But, I mean, I think that's due to incest. Sorry. But, you can't understand the difference between banana and banana. I mean, it's no wonder the rest of the world thinks America's a little bit, But luckily, you guys, maybe that's why you want Greenland also, is to up your, the intelligence quotient. And Canada, of course. That makes so much sense now. I've cracked why Donald Trump wants to get these territories is to up the average IQ in the US. Sorry. I'm not bashing America. I'm just making fun here, guys. I'm actually a fan. I'm just talking rubbish. I like America. I'm a big fan. But that's the beauty of free speech, is that you can say what you want. Not whatever you want, because I'm not a terrorist. But I do like to be able to just express my opinion and make a joke. And if you can't handle a joke, then get out of the oven, because you're in an oven and you might die because it's really hot, So let's talk about Panama. The Panama Canal, man. Why does Donald Trump want Panama? Why do you think? I will give you a couple seconds here to think. I'll play the Jeopardy music. Time's up. Because it is the gateway to the rest of the world from Asia, right? I mean, not the rest of the world, but it's a gateway to South and North America, and it's a gateway into the Atlantic from the Pacific, or one of them. The other one is South Africa, which it's a matter of time before Trump decides he's going to intervene in South Africa. And if you watched my last video, episode 4, I spoke about this. He's stopping foreign aid to South Africa, which is a great thing, is what I said, and I stand by what I said. But yeah, now he wants the Panama Canal, and the Panama Canal is controlled at the moment, or has a big influence, is very influenced by a Hong Kong company, a honky company. It's weird, but if you call people from Hong Kong honkies, it sounds funny, but actually, you know what you call people from Monaco? Monegasques. So, bet you didn't know that. Now you know. That'll be $50. I'm just kidding. You can watch the whole video. That's reward enough. So it's owned, or it's majority controlled by a honky company. Now, Hong Kong is a sort of a weird situation with China. Hong Kong is kind of like Chinese owned, but at the same time it's not, or it was, but they're not very clear about it. And the problem is that China uses Hong Kong for foreign influence, because when you say it's a company in Hong Kong, it sounds better than saying it's a company in, XYZ, Shenzhen, or Chongqing, or like Sichuan province, I'm just showing off a bit of my Chinese know-how here, my Chinese people. Love you guys. You guys have a weird leader and a weird regime. But you're awesome people. I love the Chinese people. And I love the US and Canadians. I'm not very biased here. The only people I don't like, for one specific reason, just one reason, is Italians. Because you can't drive for shit. You've got fantastic race car drivers. And you make fantastic cars. Or to an extent. But you guys are the worst drivers, man. You and the French. Oh my God. Don't get me started on French drivers. But Italians, you'll be going like 150 kilometers an hour on the autostrada. And there'll be a guy like this far behind you. Like on your ass. And then, if you don't move over, he gets upset. Like flashes you like crazy aggressive. Then you move over and he doesn't even overtake. Or he overtakes you at like a half a kilometer faster. Or what they love to do, and this is why you're such bad drivers, is you overtake at like 100 kilometers faster. Like put your foot down, drive past like screaming at you like you're an idiot for driving over the speed limit, but not as much as you want. And then they pull in front of you and they slow down to slower what you're going. And then you have to overtake them again. You think they'd look over at you? No, they're too embarrassed. Every time. You Italians never learn your lesson. This happened to me almost every time I'm on the autostrada. Guy overtakes you going like 100 miles faster than you, then pulls in front of you just to like slow down so that you have to get into the overtaking lane and overtake again. Now, America, this is something that you don't quite understand yet, is that the left lane is for overtaking. In America, it's just a free-for-all in many states, and I think that's even more dangerous than what the Italians do, but I'm just stating my opinion here. Maybe that's not all Italians, because Italians are lovely, warm, friendly people, and I actually quite like Italians. Maybe I should clarify, I don't like Italian drivers specifically from Italy, who live in Italy. You guys suck. But I love Italians. Man, we get so excited. This is what the show is about. It's getting sidetracked. That's what you guys love. 6 million followers, man. 6 million listeners. I love each and every one of you. You guys are the best. So Panama, Panama Canal, controlled by a Hong Kong company. And China has an influence over these honky companies. But, it's nicer to hear the companies is in Hong Kong than in Sichuan or in Shenzhen province or whatever it is, Which is why a lot of these foreign operating companies are based in Hong Kong or Macau. Because Macau is kind of known for gambling. Right. So, now to the Gaza Strip. And this is the most insane thing I've ever heard, is Donald Trump wants to send troops to the Gaza Strip and control it. And I can tell you what's going to happen here. It's going to destabilize the Middle East like crazy. Why? Because the US has fantastic ties with Israel, but it's got fantastic ties with Saudi Arabia as well. So what do you think is going to happen now? Saudi sides with Gaza, decides to pull all foreign investment from the US in retaliation to what the US does. Israel moves into the Gaza Strip. Obviously, all the Gazanians, this is what I'm not sure about. What do you call people from Gaza? I'm not sure. Expatriates them to other countries, Egypt probably, or Lebanon and the surrounding areas, the US is not going to take a single one of them. You can be sure that they're not going to open their borders to the friendly people they kicked out of their own country. And there's going to be chaos. Chaos ensues. Unless something happens I don't know about, or Trump kind of negotiates a deal between Saudi and Israel. But there's been war in the Middle East for millions of years. One man is not going to fix this war. It's generations and generations upon generations of hate towards each other. And you can't fix that. Nobody's going to fix that. It'll get fixed in 100 years. Maybe this is a starting point. You can start now, but this will escalate things like crazy for the next 50 years maybe, when things will start to settle down. Anyway, Trump is going to build hotels there. Now, sorry, I laugh. I think it's a very American thing to have like these crazy ass big hotels with like 500 rooms, you know what I mean, of 1,000 rooms. Nobody wants that. You know, there's like, I don't know, these cheap holiday destinations, there are all these big hotels. If you want like a proper nice stay, you go to a little boutique hotel or something like that. Now I'm talking about hotels. I'll talk about, that's a topic for a different time, is the state of hotels and Airbnb and stuff like that. But, you know, it's not the first time the US is doing this. I mean, look at Guam, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, even the Philippines. Now, you might not have known this, but the US invaded the Philippines and the Philippines fought back. That's right. The Philippines could have been a US territory, but they decided, no, we are Filipino and we will not do this. And where are you now, Philippines? Where are you now, indeed? Wouldn't it have been cool if you were still a US territory? I personally think you would have way less problems, and you'd be way better off if you were still part of the US. But that's just me, again, the guy who doesn't like Italian drivers. You know, Hawaii got full statehood. Hawaii's just full on a state. Puerto Rico got, you're kind of dark skinned, so we're gonna see where this goes. And, you know, the Philippines fought back. Now, I think today is less about sending troops around the world. It's you know, China does the same, by the way. China colonizes the world like crazy. And this may be a topic for a different video, depending on how many of you 6 million really like this video. I'll make another video about Chinese colonization. Is China colonizing the world? The answer is yes, too. But it's more about influence, and the US has a bigger influence. It's pop culture, it's, you know, cuisine, language, all of this stuff. Languages and culture is the biggest US export ever. China, it's people, funnily enough. Well, China, it's products and people, but Chinese people is one of China's most valuable and biggest exports ever. Actually, I'm going to make a video on this, so stay tuned. Yeah. So what is this, you know, colonization 2.0, the colonization return, the US returns, like the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Too US, Too Furious, the US and the Furious, the US returns, something like that, hey? How funny would it be if the Philippines became a US colony again? They were like, take me, daddy, you know? But they'd get a way worse deal. Trump would love that, to be honest. Because, I mean, you're so close to China. China would retaliate. This is one big thing. But yeah, back to the Panama Canal quickly. I think it's good the US is taking the Panama Canal. Because let's think about it. If the US were in charge of, or a US company owned an island in the South China Sea, what do you think China would do? Would they be like, that's okay, we are going to allow this? No, sorry for if that sounds racist, but these are my Chinese accent. I think, no, I don't think the Chinese would be okay with it, and the US shouldn't be okay with it either. Anyway, what do you think? Should the US allow this? Should, you know, they go ahead? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? I'm going to stop here. So thank you very much for watching or listening. If you're listening to this, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully next time I make another video, it's going to be 7 million followers. Can't believe you. Thank you very much to all of you, each and every one, and catch you next time. Bye bye.